Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keith Hensley, and I'm going to be showing you how to add and edit listings in Matrix. Matrix is live right now, so as of today, which is Tuesday, November 15th, it is 1:04 right now. You can add and modify listings down in Matrix. It became available shortly after 9 o'clock this morning, and like I just mentioned a few moments ago, we already have some new listings, some price changes and stuff out there. So without further ado, let's just log in to Matrix. Now, I'm currently logged in as a test user here, Daffy Duck. Okay, that's one I've been kind of playing with, one I've been doing some testing with, and because I'm not an actual agent or broker, I don't have that functionality turned on. So I've been testing it under a real estate company called the Looney Tunes. So with that said, everyone now, when you log into Matrix, everyone should have this tab up here called Inputs, Add, Edits. Even if you don't have the ability to add a listing, you should still have the Input, Add, Edit tab, because if you have a listing and someone else put it in for you, you should be able to still go in and do certain things. And we'll cover that part here too. So what I like to do is let's go ahead and get started and click on the Input, Add, Edit tab. I'm going to start off by doing a new listing first, and then we'll come back and we'll modify an existing listing, and we'll show you that part there too. So the first thing I just want to take us through is add a new listing. So as long as you have that ability, if you could do it in Fusion, you'll have that ability in Matrix to do that. You click on Add New, and then you see our property types should be the same property types that we have, single family, condo. And you notice we have coming soon also. So there's two property types here, single family or single family coming soon. If this is a coming soon listing, obviously you're going to use this one. If it's not a coming soon, then you would use this option here. Okay, so I'm just going to use the regular single family, not the coming soon option here, but I think that's pretty obvious which one you use here. So I'm going to click on single family, and I will come back and show you how to modify coming soons also. So I'm just going to add a new single family. And when we go into here, very much like Fusion, very much like the old system, you can fill it from a realist tax search or tax auto pop. Tax auto population is what we call this here. And if it's in one of these counties here, you would just simply pick that county and then enter the address, which I will do here in a second. You'll notice that there's two other options up here. We've got a copy listing option right here, and a copy listing. Now the same business rules apply to copying a listing that it did in Fusion. You can only copy your listings. If it's not your listing, then you won't be able to make a copy of it there. So you can just type in either the MLS number or do a search for it and find it, and then it'll just populate as much as possible. It won't copy over every field like listing date and listing price and expiration date, but most of the stuff should come over, and the photos should prompt you to pull the photos over too. But once again, it has to be your listing. And then the last one here is start with a blank listing. Start with a blank listing obviously does not auto-populate and it does not copy. It just takes you into the listing input form and it's completely blank for you to start from scratch. I don't like using that one. We strongly encourage people to use the auto-pop, the realist. Obviously, if it's not in one of these counties, you can't use this auto-pop. You have to start with a blank listing. So for this example, I'm just going to pick on Lucas County. I'm going to type in an address of a property I just found, and I apologize if it's your listing, or your address, but I just happened to use this one here, 540 Radcliffe, and that's it. I just got the county, street number, street name. When I'm ready to search for it, click on search, and you find it, and it confirms the owner's name and the address and so forth here. And so far it's just like Fusion. It might look a little different, but it's the same steps, the same process. And then when I'm ready, I hit the fill button. And it's going to take as much information off of that record and populate it into the new input forms. Now, a few things here. You notice that in Fusion, you would just keep scrolling down and you would see all your fields. Here, we got it broken up by tabs. So you go from one tab to the next tab to the next tab and so forth there. So that's a little different. Second, you also notice that the required fields, they're in yellow. So you have to fill in. If you see something in yellow, it's a required field, and you cannot submit this as a live listing until you do. So those are in there as a live listing or as required fields here. So that's a little different. There are new data forms out there. Okay, in fact, let me kind of show you here something here. Let me open this in a new tab here. Under the resource link, these were just updated last night, I believe, or this morning. If you come down here, we've got this section called area list property data and MLS change forms. These should take you to the new revised data forms, data input forms. And those new forms should flow exactly the way it does in here, okay, or at least close. I haven't actually looked at them, so I'm trusting Sharon and Lori that they have them flowing really good there, okay? So these are your required fields. Down here at the bottom, you see save as incomplete, so at any time I can save it as incomplete and come back in later. I'll talk about validate here in a little bit, and I think you know what submit listing does. But cancel input, I can cancel this at any time, and it just goes away. So don't hit cancel input thinking it's going to be saved for later, because it's not. In fact, if I hit cancel input, it'll ask you, are you sure you wanted to cancel this, because it'll get rid of it. So I'll hit cancel there. So if you do want it to come back later, make sure you hit save as incomplete. Now, as soon as you come in here, you notice the tax auto pop, it put the address. As soon as you give us a street number, name, and zip code, the map will map it for you. And over here, you can hit update map also. And it just goes out and it does its best and maps it as best as it thinks that property is. And most of the time, I would say that's pretty accurate. Depending on if it's like a new subdivision or out in the country, it may not map it as well. So I always encourage everyone to set it manually, at least check it manually. Okay, so we already map it for you, but hit the set map lat long manually here, and it just opens up and it just makes sure that you've got the correct property here. And you can see the parcel lines here, and what that does, if you don't know, in Matrix you can click on that and it shows you the owner's name and address there for you. And so if I want to confirm I've got the right address here, 540 Redcliffe right there. So that is the correct one. It's right there on the bend of the street on that little section right there. Okay. Now if I need to move it, let's say it really mapped it wrong, and let's say it's way up here somewhere. Notice as I moved it, I just lost my pin. The pin location is gone. So over here I can hit this place new pin and then click where it needs to go, and then it confirms my address. In this case I had it correct, so I'm going to hit reset. When I hit reset, if I go back, oop, come on. If I go back, you'll notice it put it right back to where it should have been mapped at. I'm messing up on here, you know. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel down here. So please map your listings and then hit the map lat long manually just to confirm it looks good, because there's one new benefit now I want to show off, and the reason why you have it mapped is because of this new feature we have called Google Street View. Fusion never had a Google Street View, so as long as this property is mapped in an area where Google has actually went out and did the Street View, you'll have this link highlighted. You'll also notice sometimes that link may not be available, and that just tells you that Google's never been there. So after you map it correctly, then you hit Google Street View. and then it opens it up. Now the reason why you want to check this is sometimes Google doesn't map it correctly, the street view. And if you look at this, you're like, well, where's the property at? You know, it's just looking down the street here. And that's why I use this particular address, because of the Google Street View didn't really show it too well. But you have the ability to fix this. Even if you're an agent who doesn't have the ability to modify listings, you still have the ability to update these maps, because the listing secretaries, they put them in, and they're going to do their best to map them, but they don't know what the Google Street View looks like. They don't know if the property is mapped correctly. So they can tell you to go into this listing under their own login, and they can map it. I will show you that here in a moment here. They have that ability. So they're going to come in here, look at the property, and actually I think if I remember that on the street, remember it was kind of in a corner. It's kind of going around a curve. So I think it might be this property, but I'm not really sure, honestly, because it's not my house. But you can always scoot it down a little bit down the street, because maybe it's this property here instead. Or like I just showed you, remember when it looked at this house here? Let me scoot over this way, because sometimes you're going to get the street view and you're going to get like this tree blocking it in your way. So what you can do, you can always just scoot it down and get a good angle of the house. And once you're satisfied with that, all you need to do is click the OK button. And now you've just set the Google Street View available out there. And what this is good for is just not other realtors, when they go in the system and map your property and look at the Google Street View, this goes out to the public too. And so on clients' portals, when they go and map it and look at Street View, whatever you set there will be fixed for them too. So it's very important you map it correctly and then set the Google Street View properly there. Okay. Well, after that, I think the rest of this is kind of obvious to do. You're going to go in here and start filling in your stuff here. And I'm just going to make up a price. Dates, you can type it in or use that little calendar right here and pick on the listing date and the expiration date. Go in here and pick that. Street number, let's say it was North Radcliffe Road, or let's say it was actually Drive or something. I'm just changing this here. You can see it auto-populated the county, the city. Here I'll need to pick the area, and I really don't know what area this is in. I'm just going to pick something here. And here, once again, subdivisions. I'm going to just pick a subdivision, okay? If you don't see your subdivision in there, just like you did in Fusion, someone asked this question yesterday, you still report those new subdivisions or a missing subdivision. You report it to the MLS, and they will go in here and they'll add it here. I think they'll do research first just to make sure it does need to go in there. It is a true one here, but you still will let them know. Down here, you just answer all these questions here. Once again, occupied by, listing date. I think we know about that, so I don't need to go in here any further. Now, I'm in as Daffy Duck. Well, Daffy Duck is the listing secretary, okay? So let's say it's not my listing, but it actually belongs to Roadrunner. So I'm going to go in there, and now if I don't know Roadrunner's ID, I can hit this Find an Agent and type in his first name, type in his last name, and run the search and find him. Okay, I think I can't find him because he's not a real live. This is just a test here. So let me just show you this. If I had found Roadrunner, I would just, it would have put their ID in here, and then I'd hit refresh, because you notice it's still showing Daffy Duck over here. So if I hit refresh, now I scroll down, now you see Roadrunner in here and not Daffy Duck. And the same thing goes with the co-listing agents. You just type in Sylvester the Cats, let's say, and refresh it, and now I've got the co-listing agent on here too. So listing agent, co-listing agent, and you can look them up. And if you look them up, it'll populate their name into there. Okay, after that, you just scroll through and go to the next tab. Here we try to auto-populate as much as we can off of the tax records. You notice it auto-populates the square footage and where we found that. Since it came from the public records, we populate public records here. I'm going to just go and type in some rooms, all this stuff, beds and baths, how many full baths on the upper floor. Is there a master bedroom, yes or no? Main floor, let's say there's 2 and 1/2 bath, and lower 0 and 0. Okay. Now let's talk about rooms. Rooms is inputted a little differently than how we did it in Fusion here. And I hope, let me try to make this as easy as possible. What we've got now, if you remember in Fusion, we had a preset order of rooms that you can, they had to be in a certain order. No matter, and you had to fill something in no matter if your bedroom had that, or if your listing had that 4th bedroom or not. You still had to go in there and, you know, put something in there like 0 by 0 and stuff like that. Well, here it's done differently. When you open this up, you can pick your rooms and put them in the order that you like. So for example, I could start off with master bedroom first, and then I can say main floor, and like before, it is required on having the length and the width, and the flooring is not required, but I still encourage you to fill out as much as possible here. And then over here you can see features, a maximum of 2 features, so make sure you pick 1 or 2, or you don't have to pick anything, I guess. But watch this. I'm going to hit the more button. When I hit more, now I can pick my next one, and this time I'm going to pick living room. And this time I'm going to say main, and I'm going to put its dimensions in here. And I'm going to hit more, and this time I'm going to pick bedroom, and I'm going to pick floor main, and I'm going to put in its dimensions. Okay, so you can pick your own order how I'm doing this here and keep hitting more. And if you made a mistake, you can always hit delete and it goes away. But let me show you how it's going to look on your agent full view. I said master bedroom, living room, and then bedroom. So if I go up here and if I go up here on this, it's going to say master bedroom first, and then I already forgot what my second one, living room, okay? Then living room second, and then third will be bedroom, okay? So your first one goes here, second one will show up here, third one will show up here, fourth one will show up here, fifth one will show up here, sixth one will show up here, seventh one will show up here. That's the flow. So if I want all my bedrooms to show up on this left-hand side here, and believe me, we've already been through a lot of situations like this, and this is the best situation we can do here. So I would do 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 would be my bedrooms. 2, 4, 6, and 8 would be other rooms here. Because if we didn't do it that way, if we just started throwing in this here, bedroom, 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 what if they didn't have this over here? Then all of a sudden we're going to have this long list on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side would not be as long, and that would potentially produce 2 sheets of paper on printing this out. So we have to keep it balanced, if that makes sense. So we had to do this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then that one. That way it keeps it balanced all the way down the list there. Otherwise, we don't know if you only have 5 rooms where someone else might have 20 rooms. So by keeping it balanced is kind of causing this situation. And it's not really a problem. It's just as long as you know about it. And that's what I want to show you. That's why I'm going through this and showing you this situation here. So going back into here, if I want all my bedrooms on the left-hand column, then my next one, which is number 4, would probably be maybe the family room, okay? Because my 1 and 3 bedrooms, and then more, 2, 4, and 5. This would be my next bedroom here. Floor and length and width and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the flow. That's actually a good thing. I know we're not used to that because we're used to Fusion automatically having the order for us and automatically having it display, but also there's a problem there that what if you only had 3 bedrooms and not 4? You know, well, and then it didn't matter. We kept showing everything there too. So, okay. So that's rooms. Then you've got, let's see here, features. Let's go to features now. And you got garage spaces, high school. Watch this. Let me go ahead and fill some of this stuff in here to some of the required fields anyways. And I'm just picking something here. Stories. Now, here it says exterior maximum 2. Well, it's going to look like you can pick 3 here, and it's going to look like you can pick 3 here also, even though it says 2 here. And if I scroll down here, I'm going to pick 2 there also, and I'm just going to pick something here to fill this in, because I want to show you an option down at the bottom here. Well, if I hit submit, obviously I can't submit it because I don't have everything filled out correctly, so it's going to give me a bunch of errors. The validate button. The validate button is just like the submit button, except the validate button will not submit it live if I have everything filled in. So let's say I have everything filled in here, or at least all the required fields, but I'm not ready to submit it live. So don't hit the submit button because obviously it makes it live, but the validate will go through, let me validate it, and shows you where you made errors at. So if you come down here, you'll notice that I got errors on these 2 options here. And why? If I hover over that, I can only pick 2, not 3. So that's why I got the error messages. It's telling me here. And same thing with this roof, where it's maximum 1, I was able to do 2. So if I come down here, there's also an errors button down at the bottom. And if I click on it, it tells you why I've got those error messages. Okay, and there's the ones with the maximum numbers. So if I go in here and I fix roof and I fix exterior and foundations, and now I hit validate, you notice I don't have error messages on those anymore. Okay, now watch, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit listing. I still get the same thing, that validate. That's why I'm saying that both of those are exactly the same thing. They go through and validate your listing and make sure that you inputted everything. The problem using submit listing though, what if I did have everything filled in, all the required fields? Well, then it's a live listing and I'm not ready for that one. So just stay away from submit unless you're ready to make it live. Okay, otherwise validate will go through and shows you where you made your mistakes at. Okay, I don't think there's really anything else here I need to show you. Remarks and showing information. Well, here's your remarks, private remarks, agent remarks. You notice we keep the same amount of space. And some people have been saying, well, shoot, I wish we could have increased the remarks or the private remarks to add more characters. And we could have, but the problem with that was if we had done that, now you might have some situations where some listings print off on 2 pages because someone put in a lot more remarks than what we had before. So it's a good and bad situation, and so we kept everything the same, or at least that's what your MLS one is to do, and we did. Then up here, directions, you notice it's required. So whenever you type in remarks, let me do this here. Go north. We have spell check here, so you notice how it's underlined in red that I made a spelling error. So if you just right click on that, you can change that. So I want to show you that we do have spell check. So anytime you type in characters, words, and it underlines it, it just lets you know that you had a spelling error. And of course, you know, we abbreviate a lot of times, so you don't have to correct it. It just populates in here. As you scroll down, if you have a non-branded virtual tour, this is where you copy and paste that website address in here, and it'll put it in here for you. I also want to show you a new feature here in a minute, Property Panorama. We do brand new virtual tours for you if you don't, no matter if you use your own branding or virtual tour or not, we do we give everyone a virtual tour now through this new company called Property Panorama. So hold on about that. But if you already have your own company and you already have your own virtual tour, that's where you put the website address in there. And that is pretty much it. Now, let's say I'm going through this and I'm entering all this information here and I forget to hit save as incomplete. Let's say I'm in the middle, I get distracted, someone comes up, starts talking to me, next thing you know, we're in a meeting, and then we go out to lunch, and I'm thinking, you know what, I don't think I hit save. I don't think I saved this as an incomplete listing. Well, we got this autosave feature here. So let me just log out as Daffy Duck, and you notice I did not save that as incomplete. So if I go back in as Daffy Duck here, it gives you this message here. You'll get this message now that says auto saved. We saved it for you. Do you want to discard it? Because maybe you're just playing around with it and you're not serious. Well, get rid of it there. Maybe you were serious. Maybe you're saying, oh, thank you. I forgot to save it. Let me restore it here. Or maybe you're in a hurry and say, you know what, I do want to, I'm not sure yet. I just want to skip this. I don't want to answer this question yet. I'll just skip it. And the next time you log in, it's going to keep asking you. Do you want to restore it or discard it? Well, in this situation, I do want to restore it. So I'm going to click on restore. It's going to take me right back in, and everything is saved as I left it there. So that is a feature that as you go through this, it auto saves everything for you. And now as I get this, I might say, you know what, let me save it as incomplete. And now it is an incomplete listing. That is the MLS number. That will be its MLS number going forward. And you notice we started off with the 6 million number now. Okay, so far we've had 31 listings into the system so far today. So it does give you a good MLS number. Now, it's an incomplete listing. And if you've been to our training classes, one of the new features with Matrix is you can add your photos before they go live and your attachments. You can make your photos and attachments before they go live. So even though it's still incomplete, I can still go in here and add my photos. Now, for the listing secretaries out there, I saved this as an incomplete listing, 600032, and I think I saved it as incomplete for Roadrunner. So I could tell if I'm Daffy Duck and I'm a listing secretary, I could tell Roadrunner to go in, and he or she, or I'm not even sure what Roadrunner is, it can go in and add photos and map that listing. So let me do that. Let me go back out. Let me go to, let me look up Roadrunner here. I got to log in as Roadrunner. There we go, just log in. So Roadrunner can now go into incomplete, add edit. Now Roadrunner, watch this, Roadrunner cannot add new listings. Okay, Roadrunner does not have add edit capability, but Roadrunner can pick its incomplete listing here on Radcliffe and schedule open houses. It's still an incomplete listing. In fact, let me cancel this real quick. I kind of did that real quick. Notice the I over here. The I means it's incomplete. The A means it's an active listing. SFM means it's single family. It would have a CS if it was a coming soon status, or a C for contingent, or a P for pending listing here. So it's still an incomplete listing, but Roadrunner can go in, click on this, and upload the photos himself or the attachments himself, okay? Or adjust the pin location himself or schedule open houses himself. Even though Roadrunner doesn't add or modify, make price changes, Listing Secretary does that, Daffy Duck does that, but Roadrunner. So for all the listing secretaries out there, please start, I think it's very important that you have your agents go in and at least map it. Okay, if you want to still do their photos for them or your attachments, that's up to you. But I think they should at least be able to map the pin. And maybe you don't want them. Then maybe certain people are just not good with maps. Well, maybe don't tell them that, and you do that work. So it's up to you what you do. But I just think that might help you out a little better there. Okay. Okay, so we saved as incomplete, autocorrect. Let's go back in as Daffy Duck again and pick this back up here. I almost forgot where I was at there. Let's go in as, oh, how did I kind of lost my train of thought there. Daffy Duck, there we go. And log in. Log in. Okay, I'm in as Daffy now. So if I go back in here, remember when I add a new listing, if it's coming soon, I have to use this one. This one up here has to be an active listing first. So coming soon listings, I would click on this one and tax auto pop or copy or whatever. I'm just going to go straight to start with a blank. And there's a new field here on coming soons. It's the same exact stuff, same exact fields, except for now we have an on market dates. So it does not matter what the listing date is. Okay, let's say I put the listing date as of last Friday, the 11th. And the on market date, it's got to be 21 days, within 21 days of today's date. So if today is the 15th, that's 3 weeks from now. 1, 2, looks like December 7th. So it's got to be from the 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, of December all the way up until today's date, well, till tomorrow's date. Okay. And then on that date, it becomes an active listing. So whatever date you put here, it becomes active on that day. I can go in, if I made this coming soon as of, let's say, Saturday here, I could go in on Thursday or Friday and make this an active listing before. Maybe they get the work done and maybe it's ready to be a live listing now. So I can still go in there and make this a live listing before that date. But so hopefully we're clear on that. It should be the same exact information that we had before. Okay. Oh yeah, Elaine, I'm glad you asked that question. I just took a sneak peek at it. And how long does a listing stays auto save it for? Well, it'll stay incomplete for 15 days. So when you save a listing as an incomplete, I believe before it was 5 days. Now you can do, it'll save a listing as incomplete as 15 days, okay? So I just want to show you that there, that you can do that as 15 days there. So let me just cancel these two out here. As
Keith, I think she was talking about the autosave.
Yeah, do you know how long that is there for autosave?
I think the autosave just keeps prompting you indefinitely until you click the restore or the delete.
I think so too, yes, I believe so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so as is incomplete here, okay, let's cancel that input here. But that's the coming soon. I just wanted to show you the coming soon part. And let me cancel this here. It's coming soon. Okay, so if I just need to make price changes, so let's just go back into inputs. Now, listing secretaries. If you work as part of a firm, the first thing you'll see here is pick your office. So you first come in and pick your office, then you pick your agents. Now, if you are a listing secretary and you only want to have one office, well, we take that away from you because there's no choice for you to make. So we hide that one, and your only choice here is to pick your agents. So you pick Daffy Duck, or you can pick Bugs Bunny, and then it says, okay, pick your listing here. And here, as you can see, I've got a lot of listings here. If you're not a listing secretary, you're an agent. Well, you don't even see this part here because we know you can only do your own listings. So if you open this up, now you can see, okay, your contingent listings, your coming soon, your incomplete, and your pending here, okay? Now watch this. If I have a contingent listing on Golf Creek, I can then go and schedule open houses. I can go in here and say, make it public, yes, pick my date here, and pick my time, pick my description, and then I can hit more, and I can do multiple open house dates here. So do as many as I want right now, and I'm going to hit cancel input. I can go in and, well, it's contingent. See right here is contingent. So I could go back and change it to active, and just confirms my date, and I hit submit, and now 023 is an active listing. If I go back to my inputs and I pick 023, you notice it's active now, okay? If I go in here now, I can change it to contingent, or I can go straight to pending, change it to pending. And all I need to do here is put in my pending dates, type that in and hit submit, and now that listing is pending. If I go into input again and I pick that listing, now you can see it's pending, and now I can change it to sold. If I change it to sold, now I got to pick my sold dates. I got to pick my closing price. I've got to pick, seller concessions. You got to just fill out the required fields here. Okay. Find an agent. Now I've got to find the listing agent and type this in here. I'll just say deduct again here. Hit refresh. Let's say he sold it, and I listed it and sold it, and now they can hit submit listing. And I said yes on concessions. Notice once I change that to yes, this is now required field, so I have to type that in. Now I hit yes, and now it's sold. And now if I go back to inputs as Daffy Duck, you notice that listing is not here anymore. Well, it's sold. So if I made a mistake and it shouldn't be sold, well, just like before, you have to contact your MLS. They have to go in and fix that for you, okay? Because it's now sold, it is now off the market. Same thing with expired listings, I believe. Once it goes expired, hey, I don't have control to go back in and make changes to it or anything. I have to contact the MLS there. I didn't show you photos. I knew I was missing something here. If I go in and I pick this incomplete listing, you notice I did mention you can add photos and add attachments. So if I go in and add my photos, and remember I could do this before it went live too, when I showed you when I saved it as incomplete. Well, here it just tells you to upload. Click on the browse to upload multiple photos at once. Hold down a control key down when clicking on the file names. To order your photos once, drag in the gray bar, click on any image to view its details, and for maximum quality, upload photos at least 1024 by 768. Now, it says maximum quality. You can still upload smaller photos. So if you like those little postage size stamps photos, which no one else does, you can still upload those tiny photos. But we encourage large photos, and as far as I know, I've done this testing many times. I have uploaded large, huge photos, and it allowed me to do that. Okay, so the larger, the better photos. That is the pixel size, the dimensions, 1024. I believe it was 800 by 600 before. You notice we can now upload up to 36 photos here, not 20, so that's been increased also. So now you go and pick your browse button here, and you go browse your pictures. You find your photos. Let me go back here. Let me use this one here. You hold down a control button, and as you hold that down, you can just pick as many as you like here. You can also pick on the first one and hold down the shift key and pick the last photo, and it highlights everything in between. And then when you hit open, it just goes through and just pulls down every photo that you have here. And you notice it says notes, the photos below outlined in red are lower than this recommended minimum. So it was still, these photos are still smaller than the 1024 by 768 pixels size, but it still will take them. But that's what the error message is. And then as I scroll down, you can see all 15, 16 photos there. Now what I can do is just grab a photo and just this easily rearrange and put the photos in the order that I like. Okay, it's real that easy there. So I've got 16 here, I can do 20 more. If I come back in and I already have photos, I can take them out. I can check mark the ones I don't like, and then I can hit delete down here, delete checked. And it says, are you sure? Yes. Now it just took out those 3 photos that I had there. If I click on the photo itself or on that little box up there, it just makes the photo bigger. And now what I can do, I can rotate it and get it, because maybe I took it sideways. A lot of times though, when you take photos with your cell phone, if you don't take it the right orientation on your cell phone, I will say that a lot of times they might come in upside down, because when you took it on your phone, you took it the opposite way on your phone. So you might want to test this, and if it ever happens to you, that means you're taking your pictures from your phone the wrong way, and you'll need to switch your phone the opposite way. But you can still come in here and fix it and rotate it there. You can come down here and enter your descriptions. So when you hit descriptions, you can just type in, your information here, and once again, we have that spell check there. And then when you're done, just hit done down there. And then when you're done, just hit save. So when you hit save, just go through and add all your comments to all those photos there. And I'll go ahead and hit save here. Okay, that's the inputs. Now see, it's still an incomplete listing. So I can delete. Now it says incoming here. If this is still an incomplete listing, so let's say something fell through and I didn't get the listing, I can delete that incoming status and it'll go away. It'll go back out. But here it's still incomplete, so I can schedule my open houses, add my photos and attachments and all that good stuff there. Okay. I think that's about it. Anyone else have questions for me? Or Lori, do you have anything I can that I might have forgot here? I think I lost my question box. There we go.
Doesn't seem to be any more questions. Does anyone have any questions?
No. What do we do? What way do we take pictures? I think, Kurt, you're talking about your cell phone. I've got an iPhone. I think Android is the same way. How would you label? We don't really label photos anymore, Joe. It's just whatever you type in there. So it's almost, there's no labeling anymore. So you can still say like exterior front or kitchen dash and then talk about it. So there is no labels there. So yes, you're correct. Landscape, Kurt, yes, absolutely. Landscape, I would. Landscape, yeah, because that's how you, as you see it, 1024 by 768. So you notice they're more wider than they are taller. So make sure you pick it that way. But on your phones, make sure yes, you're right, landscape. And you can still do a portrait if you want. But Kurt, the problem with doing a portrait is you get the white space on each side of your photos there. So you don't want that one there. Okay. I mean, you can, like if you do a bathroom or something. Yes, ma'am.
I think Joe wants you to show her where she can type those
labels.
Type in the label.
Okay. What about showing time, Kelly? Yeah, that's a good point there too. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you that, Joe. If I go back in here, open this up, I do my photos. When I browse and find my photo, so let me just pick that one photo here. When I click on it, remember down here when I say enter description, that's where, well, we don't have labels anymore. So I would need to do exterior fronts here, and then say view from the lake or something like that. Okay, so there are no more labels. That's where you're going to do that out there, and then hit done. Okay. Kelly, showing time. Yes, let me show you the showing time. Okay, now it's got to be an active listing for showing time. So that's first thing. So let me pick an active listing. I got a pending one. I should be able to do that one there. Showing time right down here. So yeah, thank you for that. Was it Kelly? Yes, thank you, Kelly, for that. Here's your managed showing time. Assign a lockbox also, because now it's an active listing. Property Panorama, just let me mention this, everyone. Property Panorama is a new feature we all have. If your listing has more than 3 or more photos, we take the first 5 photos. So when you put those photos in, put your best 5 photos first. Okay, if it only has 3 or 4 photos, put your best, well, obviously they are your best ones because you only have 3 or 4. So what we have now is this thing called Property Panorama. So every listing you'll see now should have, if they have 3 or more photos, they should now have a virtual tour thing here. And when you click on it, it's going to play some music here for you. Property Panorama takes your first 5 photos, like I said, and turns it into a virtual tour, a non-branded virtual tour, so everyone gets that for free. Now, mark your calendars on November 17th, Thursday, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and I will put a message back here on the message of the day about this here. We have a webinar, well, not we, but Property Panorama has a webinar from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Thursday about this new feature, because there is something that you could do. If you like it, you could, there is an option you can upgrade and pay for. So I'm going to put a message up here, then you can sit in and find that out there, okay? So I want to mention that there. So let's see here. Showing time activation. Okay, I think is okay. So I think Lori answered that one. What about showing time? Thanks, Kelly. Angela, are you going to produce a manual or instructions for later when inputting a listing? We already have one. If you go to help, should be in the training guide. The 40-something page document should be there. If not, could be under matrix videos. I know we have a video here, and this webinar that's recorded, it's right down here too. You can watch this webinar again, so if someone wants to, they can watch that webinar again, okay? And then when entering room numbers, could the entire could the number be on input so that we need to count? So yeah, that's a good point, Elaine. Maybe, I'm not sure about that one. Okay, Angela, hopefully I answered your question, Angela. Elaine, entering room measurements, not room number, sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to look at that one, Elaine, see if we can number them. Entering room numbers, yeah, let's see if we can do that one there. You're welcome, Joe. John, if you don't have virtual tour, is there a way to add a video like Zillow does now into, well, like I said, John, if you don't have the virtual tour, as long as you have 3 photos or more, you're going to have one. So Property Panorama creates that one for you. And now you can take that virtual tour, just like I showed you here, or here I think it was. Let me go back to that search. I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find that listing. Remember, I clicked on that virtual tour and it opened up, started playing that music. I could copy that link and give it to whoever I need to on there. I hope that makes sense, John. Apologize if I didn't understand your question correctly. So no panoramic wide photos, no, Kelly. And we never had that in Fusion either. So your photos are better quality. And if you upload a wide angle photo, you can, but it's just going to have white bars at the top and white bars at the bottom down there. So the wider it is, the more white space on there. So try not to do too wide of a photo, but we will take them, but you're just going to have that white space on there. Maybe someday we'll get that to where we can do this. What will that webinar with property payment be recorded? I will mention that to them because I'm not doing that. It is Thursday at 3 o'clock. Okay, Diana. And then room sizes only in feet, or can we use inches as well? How did you do it before, Diana? I'm not sure. I think it's normally feet. I think that's the norm, but it's taken in the same way as you did before. Absolutely. I think only in feet. I do too, Diana. I would do it that way too, because if you put because I don't think you can put inches after that or something like that. So so I think feet, yes. And Kelly, when you ask for the history, it begins printing at the bottom of the sheets and continues onto another piece of paper, or do I just have to print set up for that? That is something I do want to take a look at a little bit more. I haven't actually got in there too well and played around with the history, because yeah, we definitely want to make sure things don't print off of multiple pages. But we'll have to look at that one, Kelly. Angela, you put question marks there. Did I not answer your question right? I can't remember what your question was. I apologize, Angela. If you can let me know what that was. Any other questions, anyone?
She asked if there was going to be a manual or instructions for inputting listings.
Okay. Okay, thanks,
and I
Angela.
think you showed her where the video was.
Yeah. Angela, have you, I think it's here. I think it's under my guess it's right here under the Quick Start Guide. Quick Start Guide talks about everything in Matrix, and I believe it even talks about adding listings in there. If I am not correct, then I don't know if there will be one. Then I don't have a...
There is a video under the Matrix video tutorials as well.
Right, but there is definitely a video here on it. Yes, there's definitely a video there, but I believe the tutorial is, or the manual you're talking about is here. Yes. Okay, thanks, Angela. Sorry I didn't answer that correctly for you there. Michelle, can you print flyers from Matrix like we could from Fusion? Sure, absolutely. I'll try to show you that. When can we use our own virtual tour software, right? Yeah, we can. Yes, you can, Kelly. Absolutely. Remember when I was, and Michelle, I'll show you the flyers in here too. Remember when I did my inputs, and I picked my listing. If I go back into single family, remember it was on this last tab under remarks and showing information. If I scroll down, remember I said just copy and paste your virtual tour link here. So it's the same field that we had in Fusion. So however you did in Fusion, just take that same link and paste that URL right into here, and it'll do that for you there. Okay. You asked Kelly, okay, Matthew, did Matrix remove the agent photo customer MLS sheets? Agent photo customer, oh, I think I know what you're talking about, Matthew, there. And actually I need to answer, someone mentioned the flyer view. Yeah, I think I can do them both at the same time here. When you do your search, and I notice we're off the topic of adding listings now, we're doing something else, and that's fine. We got some few moments here. We've got a report called Customer Flyer. Okay, I think that's what one of the questions were. Do we have a flyer report? And that should be there. Now you'll notice that I think Matthew just asked this question. If I go down and print this, because in Fusion, when you hit print, we had a report that had your agent photo in there. Okay, well this doesn't have my agent photo there. So watch this. If I, and for all you know why, I'm in as Daffy Duck here. Let me log out as Daffy Duck. Let me go to one of my recent searches here. Oop, pulling up wrong stuff here. If you got a property and you go to prints, you can, let me do customer flyer view, you can include your banner, your header and footer at the top. So any report over here, you can include your banner at the top. So now there's no need to have that with agent photo report, because now you get to choose, do you want it on or do you want it off? And if I go back in here, I can take that off, and now if I hit it, print, it won't have it there. So you get to choose which view you want to have your banner on. Okay, so Matthew, I hope that.
Excuse me, Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. You can finish. I just wanted you to show them where the video is to watch to be able to create that banner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Please. So Matthew, if you haven't set that banner up, here on the home page when you log in, it says new to Matrix, do this first. So it's this, I got something in my way here. Watch this video. What this video does, it's 12 minutes long, so please watch that. It walks you through this section right here called My Information. And under My Information, it'll take you all the way through here, and the second option here is setting up that banner. So that's where that comes into play out there. Okay. Is there a way to see the agent who has the listing on the results page when we do a search like we did in the old system? Yeah, just add that field. I can show you here in a second, Pat. Let me get to see if there's any others that are on topic of adding listings. Is there a way to adjust the size of your photos if they are too small or too large? No, you have to do that before, Joe, before you add your listing to the system. You have to adjust it, but you don't really need to. I mean, well, first of all, if it's too small and you try to make it bigger, it's just going to make it look horrible. It really is. It's going to make it look grainy. So you got to take the photo making it look big first, because if you take it really small and you try to make it bigger, no. And I think what you also might be talking about, Joe, is can you crop photos? Like if you took a photo, can you crop it out like you did in Fusion? Not yet. Okay, Fusion did have that ability where you can crop photos. Here you cannot crop photos, or at least not yet in Matrix. So you kind of need to do that. But don't worry about it being too large, because remember, Fusion or Matrix takes large photos now. Pat, I'll also come back to you here in a second here. What about closing our solds with a team and some way the listing agent can know who can close it out? Let me see if I understand this correctly. What about closing our solds with a team and a listing agent? Oh, so if they just need to know what listing agent to put that sold under, I believe you're saying there. Well, how did you do it before in Fusion? I mean, because when you change a listing to sold, you're going to need to know who is the selling agent. And if they're part of a team or something, you're going to need to know who that, unless Lori, unless you understand better than I do, I'm not sure if I'm understanding completely there. There's a search box there.
I'm not sure I am either. Maybe she is part of a team.
Yeah.
So Kelly, if you want to give me a call, we'll talk about the team functions.
Okay.
That we now have available in Matrix.
Okay.
And also, we'll walk you through how to get through solds. I'm not sure if you're asking for Ann to be able to edit your listings or not, but give me a buzz on that one.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Kelly. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll talk with Lori if you could. There was a search box there, or there was. Diana, yeah, I think you were trying to help answer that question for me, right? There was a search box where I can look up the agent, but she might be talking about something else. Yes, okay, thanks, Diana. And Pat, let me see if I can answer your question. There's a way to see, yeah. Real quick, when you do a search for listings, I've got this box in my way here, you can move these columns around and drop them where you like it. You can click on it and remove any column you want, and you can also click and insert a column. And if you want to insert a column like listing agent's name, or code, that's code listing agent name. Let's do a listing agent name. So yeah, you can add listing agent name there. Just make sure you go up to that little piece of paper and give it a name and save this, or else you'll have to add that again to your column. But you can create as many columns as you want here, okay? So hopefully, Pat, that answered your question there. Okay, great, thanks. We're pretty much over time, you guys. Is there anything else? Do I need anything with my existing active listings? No. They're already in there. So you just have to wait until you start selling them or changing price or something like that. Other than that, no, they're already in here. They've been in here for a while. So you're okay. You're okay, Olive. Okay. Okay. Good. Thanks to Diana. Learned some stuff that may have straightened out to fine. Good. I hope so. Thanks, you guys.